Update: my 35 female husband, 36 male, had months-long affair with my sister, 20 female. Original post. I've posted about this in here before, but ended up deleting the post on day one because my wayward husband found the post. Since I didn't attempt to conceal my name or use a throwaway account, I've since just blocked him and his family because I don't really know who else to talk to about this stuff. So here I am again. It's been a little over 3 weeks, and for the most part, friends and family don't check in with me as regularly. I'm tired of thinking about it, tired of talking about it, but also can't get away from it. He moved out the weekend before last, and I'm feeling some relief from not having him in sight all the time. But I'm also overwhelmed with having been thrown into single parenthood so suddenly and unexpectedly. I feel like I don't have the space to grieve properly because I have the hearts of my children to look after. I got a lot of feedback on my original post, most of it useful and thoughtful, some of it not so much. I'm sure that not everyone who finds themselves reading this post will have also read the last one, but I did want to add a little bit of context for those who did. My husband and sister did not grow up around each other, so I'm not really concerned with the grooming aspect, at least not in a long-term sense. Growing up, I lived with my mother, and she lived with our father. She was only 3 when I moved out of the house, 6 by the time he and I got married. However, our being a MILF family made visits home infrequent, and even then I'd usually go alone. He likely only ever met her 2 to 4 times at all before she moved to the same city as late last year. Her version is that she was victimized by him. I know it sounds incredibly horrible to not believe someone claiming to be a victim, so I do want to clarify some things here. I do believe that she is, and has been a victim in the many intimate relationships she has had with much older men, and that she seeks these relationships as the result of some deep-seated traumas from her childhood. However, she has always entered into these relationships consensually, and has never considered herself a victim of these men. Should the men have been known better? Absolutely. Did they still actively engage in very inappropriate relationships with her citing her consent as their gross justification? Absolutely. So while yes, I absolutely believe that my husband was the one who should have been responsible for managing their relationship as the much older player, I also do not believe that she ever felt victimized by him, but now claims to have been, to earn my sympathy and forgiveness. His version is that she sought him out even prior to their first exchange, and then began indirectly threatening him that she would tell me if their relationship didn't continue. He was also very drunk the first time while she had had nothing to drink, and according to him, initiated the encounter. Things I do know is that she sent a friend request to his FetLife account 5 days prior to the first encounter. She sent a friend request to her brother-in-law's social media account, which contained multiple nude photos. I believe she at least fantasized about him, if she didn't actually plan to initiate inappropriate contact. Will I ever know the full truth of what happened or why? Probably not. I don't know if they're both lying, or if they both actually buy into the BS webs they're spinning. I don't know how much it even matters anymore, and I don't know how I'll feel in 6 months, or 1 year, or 5 years. But today, right now, I don't know how I'll ever forgive either of them for what they've done. I did tell my children, on the advice of my therapist, because my children were very close with their aunt, so this one couldn't be as easily managed by just omitting the why of our divorce. And there was a fear that it would come out later in an uncontrolled way, or that I would have to create a story around why their aunt is no longer in their lives. It felt like the only thing to do was to tell them enough of the truth, and it's all just been really hard. She sent a friend request to his FetLife account 5 days prior to the first encounter. She sent a friend request to her brother-in-law's social media account, which contained multiple nude photos. Oh hell no. She's not the victim here at all. Not only is she going after older men, she's going after married men. She gets off on the silent competition between her and the betrayed wife. She got off on feeling like she was better than you, and then probably had a power trip knowing she caused the divorce. I would let everyone in the family know and cut contact. I don't even know if therapy would help with this woman, but expect her to try again with any man you bring around. When she told me about everything, she admitted that she hated me at the time it started. Now she says that he initiated it and that she was groomed, told by him how awful I was. I believe that part is true, as he's often vented about me to inappropriate outlets/company, and felt like he was her best friend. So I do believe that she reveled in their relationship and enjoyed that it was a secret, and very likely enjoyed that she spent every weekend at our house during that time. Our relationship was strained for some time, but slowly we became very close. And it's at this point that I think things started to change for her. She felt guilty for what she had done, confessed, and now I think she's trying to salvage whatever she can by telling a story that she can live with. I think she did an awful thing, and did it with intention, and I think that she may even have convinced herself that she is a victim. But I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive her. As of now, I have no plans to ever be in her presence again, or allow my children to be. Although, once they're adults, that decision will be theirs to make. No one would blame you. What an absolutely despicable person. She's going to continue to lie because she doesn't want to take any responsibility for her actions. I'm so sorry that they did this to you and the children. I'm so sorry, Opie. Your friends and family don't sound like good people. I've supported several friends through infidelity, and I can't imagine abandoning someone in pain, especially someone I love and care about. I don't think they mean to be negligent. I think they just don't know what to do or say, and I live very far away from any family currently. In the first few days to a week, I was constantly being checked up on, but that has since dwindled. My sisters in particular are struggling with knowing how to love both me and the affair partner through this. I think that's something that has been hard for us all. I could never ask them to not still be there for her, but the emotional part of me is hurt by it at the same time. I know that part will get easier eventually. Your sister is a broken human being. The best thing you can do is remove her from your life. Very hard to believe she is some sort of victim after everything you saw in her life. The double betrayal is incredibly hurtful. I think you're taking the right steps, limited contact with X except for kids, and removing your sister from your life. I think you're at the point that you recognize your sister brings no value to your life and therefore can't be in it. Your kids were just as hurt as you are by such a torrid affair, and the truth is, everyone's life will forever be changed by such despicable behavior. Now for the first update. My sister insists that my wayward husband is a predator that groomed and manipulated her, and who was loaning her money while she was out of work, and so felt obligated to continue their affair. To be clear, she didn't lose her job until after the first encounter. Meanwhile, my wayward husband insists that my sister is basically a sociopath, who baited and pursued him, initiated the first encounter, wanted him to leave me for her, and then made subtle threats that she would tell me if the affair didn't continue. It's so difficult for me to believe that either of these people I have loved and known so well are either a predator or manipulative sociopath. They are both coming down hard on me for not believing their individual versions, and really not allowing me all that much grace or understanding when it comes to my inability to detect or know the truth. I think that right now it feels very difficult for me to know how to process everything and begin to heal if I can't even really understand why it all happened in the first place. I'm trying to process the version that is most digestible to me, but that doesn't mean that it is accurate at all. My sister says that she would provide me with any evidence she could and help me to see the full picture. But when I've asked for specific things, she becomes mad. That if I need proof, I must not believe her. When I ask my wayward husband for details or ask specific questions or even just seem angry in his presence, he tells me that he just can't do this and that I'm rubbing his face in it or making him my punching bag, and keeps making threats to unalive himself. He's been in this mess since January, but as of today, I've only known about it for less than a month. I'm still just in the earliest stages of processing it at all, of figuring out what my and my children's new lives look like, of learning how to navigate all of the difficult legal stuff I have no prior experience with, of carrying on in my personal and professional lives, while simultaneously carrying all of the heaviness of this emotional burden around with me. And still, neither of them seems to understand my anger or inability to trust anything they say. They have centered themselves in this and completely forgotten about what they've done to me and my children and how long our journey to sort out this grief will take. I'm just so angry. I can deal with the sadness, but this rage feels like it might consume me, and I don't know what to do with it all. I don't know how to get away from it or endure it. I'm just so exhausted. Have you ever considered the fact that they are both perpetrators? Liars and cheaters who will say anything to save themselves. Neither is a victim. The depth of the betrayal is far too deep. They are both unhealthy, toxic people. That's the eventual truth you will have to confront. You can learn more about the what that happened, but the why seems pretty clear. This is the digestible version I mentioned. I think it's most likely that they are both lying either to me, to themselves, or both. And now I think they're both playing the victim card in an effort to salvage whatever they can of a relationship with me. Obviously, some form of contact will have to continue to exist between my wayward husband and myself as we continue to co-parent. And I think my sister hopes that I will eventually find it within myself to forgive her. or accept that she was victimized by my husband and reconnect in the future. To be clear, I plan to remain no contact with her indefinitely. I can't know what the future holds, but right now it is nearly impossible for me to imagine a life that ever includes her in it. I would lie to your sister and tell her you've gone to the police. And if she doesn't provide evidence, she'll be in contempt of court, and vice versa with your husband. I know that's dramatic, but both of them are hiding and making you the villain. It's more plausible that they both knowingly entered into an affair and are trying to save their skin. They need to put up or shut up. Your sister may very well be a sociopath. Your husband may be a predator. Why does any of that matter? These are just excuses to justify their behavior and avoid responsibility and the repercussions of the extremely selfish and family discarding actions they both willingly engaged in. Your husband slept with your little sister. That's what happened. It's up to you to decide what to do about it, and all this fact-finding is just an excuse for you to delay doing what you already know or suspect you're going to do. I mean, you're right in that none of it will change the outcome. There is no chance of reconciliation, and divorce proceedings are already underway. I intend to remain no contact with my sister indefinitely as well. Everything in me tells me they're both lying. But if one of them is actually being honest, then I do think that's important to know, because this affair is complicated since it involves both the father of my children and a family member. Even if I can never forgive my sister, perhaps my children will want to someday. I think there's a possibility for that if my wayward husband was actually predatory and I have to maintain some sort of relationship with him forever. So what if she is actually a master manipulator and he made a series of terrible choices, but not because he was indifferent to me? I think intention is important when it comes to the question of whether we are equivalent to the worst thing we've ever done. And I think that moving forward, understanding those intentions will help me to process the betrayal and what it means for my relationship with the father of my kids. That said, I don't think I'll actually ever know the truth. I mean, I highly doubt it. And I'm not seeking any additional information from either of them. Those conversations have come to pass already. But I can't make my mind stop attempting to puzzle it all together. I can't get this thing to shut the heck up and be still for a while. Second update. It hasn't even been 2 months since I found out, but it feels like it's been 10 times that long. It's already hard to remember the time before all of this. I know it's been recommended that we not go this route, but we've decided to move ahead with divorce proceedings using a mediator only. I do believe that he is genuinely remorseful, and all I want is to do this amicably so that it will have as little impact as possible on the kids. We've come to agreements on everything outlined in the divorce decree documents, and I'm satisfied with the decisions we've made. I don't care about entitlement. I just want to be done with it. I'm in therapy, and I think it's helping me to process everything. Although it does seem like my most difficult days are always the ones following my sessions. I'd really like to go back to talking to my therapist about anything but this, but I know that this part can't be sped up or skipped over. My sister reached out to me after my request that we remain no contact. She was blocked everywhere except for my phone number, but has since been blocked there as well. During that brief interaction, she asked if she could contact my children, and I asked that she please not attempt to contact them. She became angry and sent me a pointed message, but I didn't respond. A few days later, she sent my middlest kiddo a request to join a game on Roblox. I missed that one. My kiddo deleted and blocked her from the app, but I'm upset that my sister did not respect my request that they not be contacted. I'm considering filing for a restraining order, but I don't know if it's the right thing. I hate that I'm questioning so many of my choices. I'm not interested in petty revenge or weaponizing my children against her, but clearly asking her is not enough. She has tickets to a concert in our state in August, and I'm worried she will attempt to see them somehow. I'm still just sort of emotionally floundering. My emotions are less heightened for sure, and the kids and I just returned from a 4-day trip to the beach and Disney. That helped. I'm not checking in with my family much anymore because I don't want them to have to rehash the same things over and over with me. I know it must be exhausting for them too. I'm just feeling very isolated lately, and I'm not sure how to mitigate that. Thanks for being here. Edit. My soon-to-be ex-husband is not in contact with my sister either. He fully supports the kids remaining no contact with her, as it is now known that she is lying in her claim to have been victimized by him. Don't worry, I'm still holding him accountable for the role he played, but knowing what I know now, I'm privy to the more nuanced nature of his role. My state actually offers a protective order against harassment, which varies from a CPO or restraining order, and that emotional distress is an acceptable reason for applying for one. She has surely caused that for me and them. Please remember to notify their school that she is not allowed to come near them and to notify the police if she tries. 100% notify anyone that will have the kids out of your supervision. Their friends' parents, camps, child care, etc. I'm so sorry, Opie. Maybe try joining a hobby group, bowling league, art class or something. That way you get social interaction with people that you don't have to keep reliving this with and just have some fun. Wow, your own sister. I'll never understand the mindset of someone who could do this to a sibling, cousin, or other blood relative. And your wayward husband is equally despicable. Since you've done everything else by blocking her, specifically telling her to not contact you or your kids, it seems obtaining a restraining order is the next step. Not sure how that would work if she lives out of state, but it would be worth consulting an attorney. Another commenter's advice about notifying your kids' schools is also a good idea. Keep yourself and your kids as your priority as you're doing. Good luck. Opie, I'm glad to see you're not taking any excuses and going no contact with your soon-to-be ex's affair partner. I don't think you should refer to her as your sister anymore, no matter what she says happened. Your wayward husband is no better. Hopefully you have some other people to lean on. Wishing you the best. We have ex-wives and ex-husbands. This is an appropriate scenario for an ex-sister.